Yeah, start.
Yeah.
We had the RBI monetary policy today, and as was widely expected, the RBI MPC of the RBI cut the rates by 25 basis points. This is the first rate cut that we have seen since 2020, so clearly signifies a shift in the monetary policy trajectory going forward, as well as the overall stance in the economy. So we are in a cyclical moderation growth. So from that perspective, the rate cut was warranted. We are also seeing moderating inflation over the last few months, and even going forward, we think inflation will moderate to closer to the 4% target of the RBI. So this is we think the opportune time for a rate cut from the RBI. Um, I think there was some disappointment that there was no announcement of liquidity infusion measures. But if you see in the December policy, there is a 50 basis point rate cut. After that, in late January, the RBI announced a liquidity injection of around 1.5 trillion, and they have committed to doing whatever necessary, both in terms of durable liquidity as well as transient liquidity. So we do expect further liquidity injection from the RBI over the next 12 months. So we are penciling in an additional liquidity infusion of around 1 trillion rupees, both through OMOs or through FX purchases. It could be through USD INR buy sell swap as well. We do expect liquidity to improve over the next few months, particularly as government spending picks up. You will see lesser intervention by the RBI. So, another point that the governor conveyed is that they are okay with the rupee depreciating as long as the depreciation happens in an orderly manner. So I think there is greater comfort with the rupee depreciating, and in our view, rupee depreciation is actually par for the course. In 2024, most of the other emerging market currencies, if you look at the Brazilian real, if you look at the Korean won, they've all depreciated by anywhere between 15 to 25 basis points. In contrast, the INR was among the best performing currencies, and in 2025 to date, also we've seen the depreciation of around 3% only. So the INR depreciation is par for the course, and I think RBI not putting up an interest rate defense for the INR, we think is positive. Any which way with slowing growth, the INR and FPI outflows, INR would have depreciated. So RBI allowing it to depreciate in a orderly manner, we think is positive, which also means that RBI intervention in the FX market is going to slow. So one of the reasons why liquidity has actually tightened quite significantly over the last few months is because the RBI has been selling dollars and sucking out rupee liquidity from the system. Now that RBI will probably be more comfortable with allowing the INR to depreciate, as we've seen over the last few weeks, we think liquidity will naturally improve apart from improvement in government spending. In addition, there are a lot of redemptions scheduled between April and September of 2025. That is in the fiscal year FY26, which will also contribute to additional liquidity in the system. But apart from this, we think RBI have to do additional gradually. We think that will support bond deals. Today, after the policy, the bond deals have gone up a little bit, but in general, we feel that rate cuts are positive for us, including equities and bonds. So RBI OMO support plus rate cuts, we think bond deals could, particularly the 10-year and the short end as well, could moderate further from here. So that's the overall outlook for the for the near term. We are expecting an additional rate cut of around 50 basis points as we go into the fiscal year FY26. If growth actually disappoints on the downside, so the RBI is projecting growth of around 6.7% for FY26. If that doesn't come through, there is a possibility of higher rate cuts. We don't see significant room for fiscal policy to actually support growth. The government remains committed to fiscal consolidation. Apart from maybe a little bit here or there, where they could actually increase the fiscal deficit a little bit if a growth conditions so warrant, we think the greater onus will be on the RBI if growth disappoints, and then you could actually see a higher than 75 basis point rate cut that we are penciling in which case the RBI will also probably have to move to an accommodative stance, and that will mean liquidity moving to a significant surplus as well as further rate cuts of more than 75 basis points, but that's if growth disappoints. As of now, with some amount of fiscal stimulus coming through in terms of tax rate cuts announced in the budget, as well as the rate cuts of around 75 basis points, we think growth could gradually revive. So that is not our base case that you will see more than 75 basis points of rate cuts. But if growth disappoints, then I think the RBI will have to do more. So that's our overall outlook in terms of the monetary policy. Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.